Everything that's happened since Dragon's Den has been a big disappointment, and I suppose I just wanted to tell my story. I don't believe people know what really happens, what goes on behind the scenes. I've just written a book on about the whole story, and it's very powerful, it's very emotional, but it's a true life story of everything that's happened to me. And since doing the show, I had a breakdown at Christmas and I ended up in hospital for 3 weeks. And I think it's taken my time to sort of bring myself round and get myself back on form. So it's just telling the story, and I don't like being, I wouldn't say threatened is the word, but manipulated to tell the story how somebody else wants me to tell the story. I want to tell it from my heart, because that's how I've written the book. So it's just to create awareness and hoping that when the book does come out, people will want to know the true story.
Yeah, so you're trying to uncover, show people the wrongs that's been done to you, basically.
Yeah, I'm trying to show people the wrong that's been done to me, because I think it's not what you see on the TV. And I had resentment and I had a lot of anger, and I wrote the book because it was very cathartic in expressing all my emotions down on paper, which did help. But I still believe that people deserve reality of what actually happened on the show and why I walked away from the Dragons. I have got resentment because, rightly or wrongly, I walked away from both Dragons and I wished I hadn't.
Do you think other people go through the similar sort of difficulties that on Dragon's Den?
I think the fact that the product was already, it got a brand name by the time I did Dragon's Den, and the work and the efforts that I've been put into Dragon's Den before I went on the show just shows that I have got something about me. I will work hard. I wasn't being greedy about the money that I asked for, and I think in my defence, I felt wronged too, and then I don't think that other people have gone through the same experience. I don't know, but all I can do is tell my story. I think it was a unique situation where there was 2 dragons involved, and I chose those dragons for a reason. One of the dragons, for what happened, which you'll see in the story, I lost my pride with one of the dragons, and I made a choice, and I do think it was the wrong choice at the time. And I suppose I have got resentment and blame for the other dragon.
After the disheartening experience with the dragons, how did you find the courage to go on?
Finding that courage comes from within, and I think that's how I've got where I am today. That comes from within, self-belief. Obviously I lost a lot of my self-belief when I was in hospital, and after coming out of hospital I couldn't even go into the office. I didn't want to see anybody, I couldn't open post. I had a proper breakdown, and I just had to wait for it to come back. As in business, your passion comes and goes in fits and spurts, and it's an emotional roller coaster. And fortunately, the passion has come back with a vengeance.
Was there a defining moment that brought the passion back? Something that turned you around?
I would say the interest being created from Magnum Oil. I get contacted from all over the world. I think it's about 16 countries that people have contacted me asking for exclusivity. And I think it was an opportunity, and I knew it was quite a positive interest from somebody that came from the States. They were big players, so my interest was reignited when people were asking about Magnum Oil. I think my passion to go out there and find it had gone, and just having someone come to me and reignite that, it's come back naturally. Now, there's not a day and a moment when I'm not thinking about my route to market with Magnum Oil.
I guess that's a good thing. If you've got that focus, then it's a good way of sort of distracting you from problems that you might have. Although, I don't know, maybe it's a good idea to focus on your problems as well.
I think everything that's happened has been opportunities. I was in denial about my illness, and I have been for many, many years. Obviously, my family and my close friends knew I had the illness when I was younger, but they've not known that it's come and gone. I've managed to control it, but it was out of control, since what happened. I think from the last part of last year, 3 months of last year, it was to the point where I was spending £100 a day on food, and just spending every day constantly eating, being sick, you know, that has to affect your state of mind because you're not getting the chemicals that you need, the proteins that you need, and you don't think straight. You know, I couldn't think about anything, I couldn't focus. I was in proper depression, and you know, you find your own way out of that. Some people go to medication. I did have medication, but as I've gone stronger and stronger, I am a determined person, and I think it was the self-belief that I can overcome this, which is why I came out of the denial, and I insisted that I needed the help and the support. And now when I speak to people, I tell everybody about my illness, so I'm not ashamed of it, because it's a lonely place, and those who have had it, any eating disorder, know that, you know, it's embarrassing. No one wants to talk about a subject like that. It's the stigma that's attached to it, which is what I want to change in the future.
Does it self-perpetuate? Like the more you worry about it, the more it affects you?
I think because I've had it for so long, part of me is an acceptance of it. Part of me is an acceptance that this has got me by the short and curlies, and there's not a lot I can do about it because I have had other therapy help, but nothing's worked so far. And like I say, it's not about being thin. It's not about being fat. It's about control and controlling your emotions and the inability to deal with your emotions. So at times where it's really traumatic, the stress and the pressure, it just takes over.
Do you think the times when you're more happier within yourself, does the bulimia not affect you quite as much?
Yeah, definitely. I think it is from within. It's about self-esteem. It's about having low self-esteem. And when I've got really low self-esteem, like everything that happened, you know, I made some bad choices last year, one of them being going with the particular dragon. And, you know, I beat myself up when I make mistakes. I think I'm always searching for acceptance within life, from family, friends, from industry. I always try that little bit harder. And it does come and go when you're happy and content. I can go for weeks and weeks and months and months. I went for 7 years without having it, but then something reignites that, and it's your thought process in your mind, because it's your habit. Like some people have drink, some people have drugs, some people have smoking. My comfort is food. So when I'm at times where emotionally I'm incapable of dealing with situations, my best friend is food.
You talked about your book. Could you tell us a bit more about it?
The book really was. I went away on holiday, and I wanted to put it down on paper, everything I'd gone through, because I didn't want the resentment that I felt last year to chew me up and destroy my life. And I knew that I was at a point where I couldn't get it back because I had so much negativity. There was no room for anything positive to happen in my life. So really, when you hear people say that writing something down does help, I was prepared to try anything. So that's exactly what I did. I started writing the book, and before I knew it, the structure of the book grew and grew. It took me 4 weeks to write the book from start to finish. And there was some days that I would start typing on my laptop, and I would get up at 6 a.m. and start typing away and look at my watch and didn't realise it was 7 o'clock at night. And, you know, I just kept going without a drink, without a toilet break, you know, without anything. It's because it came within. It really, really drew me in because emotionally I was putting so much into it. And friends and family that have read the book have cried. They've laughed. It's got every emotion you can imagine. And I think I'm more proud of my book than I am of Magnum. It's, you know, I'm really proud, even if no one buys it. It's written truly from the heart.
So it's like the book's also like it's been therapy for you.
It's been therapy for me. It's been very, very cathartic writing it, and I think that's why now, you know, everything that's happened is in the past. But what I don't like is being manipulated in not to showing that book, because it will damage the reputation of one particular dragon. That's not me. I'm not interested in money. I'm a genuine person who works hard. It's never been about money, not even Magnum. It's about success and about being appreciated for it. And because I've got low self-esteem, that's probably one of my reasons why I've tried and worked so hard. And, you know, that story, I believe people deserve to know what really happened.